Hi, good evening. It's Eric the Fisherman. Just to do a quick video of the work that I did installing and how I ran my Minn Kota Terrova 55-pound thrust trolling motor. Okay, so I have my seat pulled back so I can show you. I went through a hole through this hatch here, and you can see I have a 100 amp hour battery, 12 volt. It's a Lifetime. I am not a sponsor, but I highly recommend Lifetime batteries. I've bought a few of them now, and they've been nothing but amazing. I had to build all these connections here, and you can see I heat shrunk them, positive, negative, and here I added a quick release, quick plug and play type scenario, and this just lifts up like so, plugs in like so, and I've wrapped this in just electrical tape to keep the UV off, because if you're here in Texas with me, you know what I'm talking about. Under this seat, and my circuit breaker is right here. It's a Minn Kota approved, and I just put a little one screw just to hold it right here, and it locks. Not very easy, but it locks. And through hole goes to here. Let's move this right here. So you can see this is IP68. And that just keeps debris out and keeps it waterproof. But there's our connection. This battery is solely intended for my fish finder, and it's just a small lead acid 6 amp hour, 8 amp hour that I have in here, and a moving blanket. As you can see under here, it's all sealed and waterproofed, and runs under here, my connection to a heavy duty 6-gauge wire. Ignore all these other wires. It's from past projects and rocker switches I had for my LEDs. I took all that off. So ignore those. And this is my transducer wire right here. Obviously that goes through here. Finder, and the transducer is in a mount under here, and is actually looking kind of sad right now. I may have snapped that mount again, possibly, but so I'm gonna have to work on that. More projects. Back to the trolling motor build. You can see here, heat shrunk, and then I also wrapped it in electrical tape on top of that where it goes, but it goes under the seat. All right, and then the connections are heat shrunk, crimped, and sealed, and I wrapped this in electrical tape. Taking my time. I learned from a Navy buddy of mine how to wrap electrical tape. Super nice. So I took notes when he taught me. He was an aircraft helo mechanic on the USS Nimitz in my apartment complex, and taught me how to wrap that. So basically what I want to show you though is, with this lid closed, how much clearance. I didn't have a lot of clearance. Okay, get the lid closed, everything out of the way. Y'all can see plugs directly in, watertight. And what makes it watertight is it has a screw lid, and this screw lock screws down on, so no water can get in. It's a seal, so that's completely sealed and locked in. And then with this back here, just do that, it kind of holds it down. I added a drawstring, a pull string here for quick deployment. So I hit that. Right now the collar's locked. You always want to lock your collar when it's stowed away. But you pull this drawstring, it will deploy this Minn Kota straight up the front. So I don't have to be crawling around. And then when I need it to come up, I just did a loop knot here, a double loop. And I need to burn this and tidy that up, but all the way back to my seat here. So let me see this. So, and that was it. Doesn't look like a lot of work, but it was some work, but not too bad. And that's a brief rundown of my Minn Kota Terrova. Okay, and for the mount, we'll get to the quick release and the bracket, the one objective bracket. Let's unlock this. Okay. You want to always secure your pin here. But this quick release is so awesome by Minn Kota. Costs a little bit, but in the long run, a quick release is better than, I guess, the alternative. I don't want to keep this on, so you almost need it. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so I've moved this back out of the way to show y'all how I did this. So under here, you'll see that the brackets and the bolts and everything I did that it came with, and it locks to it. This plate's solid, and this just bolts down to it. And this quick release I attached to the Minn Kota, taking off these side plates and attaching it. So okay, and that's that. Real simple once it's done. In this quick release bracket, goes in these holes here and here, and slides in smooth and perfect. And then I just put a little lock on the pin so nobody can walk off with it, and mainly to keep this from coming out. You don't want that. And you see this one objective mount hooks underneath this handle, and then you add a bolt here and a lock nut underneath that it came with, and I had to drill in here and lock it in. Let's go ahead and put this back on. So, pretty simple stuff for the most part. And the other bolt for this I showed y'all is up front. So, it's solid, it's not moving. It's an aluminum mount meant to hold heavy 40-pound trolling motors. So, check out one objective. Now, if you have the Pro model, the brand new Pro, this is a 2022 Kayak. The Pro has the actual mounting like this. The Pro models have this. This is a PDL120. All the Sportsman models have this in the back. And I believe the Pro still has this, but I also added a the same style 4-bolt pattern up here, where you don't need to buy a one objective mount, and it will ride and look cleaner and smoother. However, I don't care. I was happy to get this on there. Always take water with you when you're on the water. And yeah, make sure you have your life jacket. I have a couple. This my lid's right here right now, but as y'all can see, I have a first aid kit here. Always have a first aid kit full of all kinds of stuff. Tourniquets, everything. And then here, just the throwable. If you need it, it's good to have. And then PFD, personal flotation device, that actually has a CO2 cartridge, and you pull this ripcord like Tommy Boy and it'll go off, or if it gets in 4 inches of water it will deploy. But I just keep my remote on here and keep this all together, so when I'm going out, just grab it and roll. For water tightening, I use Loctite clear silicone waterproof sealant, and these are cool. These Rapids, my wife got me these for Christmas, and it keeps your ropes all secured away. This is just a rope I added, and you see my winch I just hook here now. And then you always need a rope, whether you're hitting shore or whether you're launching. You need a rope to make sure your kayak stays with you or you'll be swimming. So, and this PVC mount that I built was like, at the time it cost me extortionate $94 or something, and I just built it, and then I heated this and I sank it into my fishing rod holders that came with this kayak. There was 2 in the back and 1 up front forward facing, and I just heated the PVC and sank it down in here and let it mold and cool and lock in. And then I added screws and cement and built this PVC mount, and then added spray painted it with Plasti Dip black, which it kind of needs another coat. It's looking kind of well used, y'all, but I can actually move it and angle it because I left it loose on the side. So if I want to move it or adjust this, I can. I like it more vertical. I reach back and grab it like Ninja Turtles. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing, and joining me on my journey and going over the upgrades with me. I think it's definitely been worth it. This project was a lot of work, and it was a big leap of faith when I went into it, because I was thinking, oh my goodness. But my wife's gonna love the NK180 Pro that I'm putting on her kayak, and we'll both be running around the lake, hot rodding around, having fun. So, and getting to the spots quicker when we do like day field trips. We go out and we have like picnics, and we go out and just look for shells and have a good time out on the water. So, all right, well, thank y'all. I'll see you later.